is up, boys? Here's your boy Zeynah here. So I haven't uploaded for a couple days, and I swear that's the intro to my videos at this point. But my mom came back from vacation, so I'm not home alone anymore, and I redecorated my room a little. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? I suck cock. I redecorated my room a little bit. My desk is not where it used to be, and I moved it somewhere else. So like now my room looks a bit bigger. And the reason I did that is because I'm gonna get like a proper desk and not like a corner desk that I have right now. And then I'm gonna have like space for everything that I need and shit like that. So I don't have to like everything's pretty much like grouped up really close on my desk right now. Like both my monitors are kind of like overlapping each other and shit like that. And it sounds like I'm complaining about like, you know, having too much shit, but it's not that. I just want everything to be, you know, nice and organized. But yeah, I've been going through stuff. And there's been like an event that happened recently, which is just really fucking stupid, that I kind of want to make a video about before, but I just lost my shit when I was making it. But the situation's dealt with right now, so I feel like I can talk about it finally. Gee, I'm dead. So basically, you know, I was home alone for like a month and like maybe 2 weeks or whatever, other than the part where I went on vacation for like 4 or 5 days. I don't really know how much. But basically my mom was on vacation with my nephews, and so she was on the beach, and obviously there's still like social distancing and shit like that because of Corona. So don't get me wrong, like it's not like we're breaking the law or anything. Like it's not total lockdown for us, but you know, obviously you're supposed to stay back from people and shit like that. And there were like barely any people at the beaches, like, so I assume most people, well, okay, anyone who knows anything about Croatia should know that main income for Croatia is from tourism and people just like, you know, coming in for a vacation and shit like that. So seeing as Corona shit's happening around the world, there weren't a lot of people coming in, you know what I mean? So the beaches were pretty much empty, so it was okay for my mom to go and shit like that. Obviously there were still a few people. I'm dead. Like I was saying, there were some people, and basically, so I don't even know how to start this. Pretty much, both of my nephews are pretty young. So one of them is 10, the other one's gonna be 8 in about 2 months, a month and a half. And so they're still pretty young, pretty energetic, and they just run around and stuff like that. So there was this one girl at the beach apparently with 2 dogs, right? And since, you know, my nephew's a kid, so he's just like running around and shit like that. So he got bitten by one of the dogs, and it bit him so hard that like he started bleeding from the foot and shit like that. So my mom like instantly ran towards him to help him out and blah blah blah, and clear out the wound and whatnot. But she instantly asked the girl who owned the dogs, you know, did they get their shots for rabies and shit like that? He's like, of course, you know, like we're not crazy here, blah blah blah. She didn't even bother to like check out like, hey, you know, your dog like just bit a little fucking kid, you know, go see if you can help out in any way. Like, first of all, you know, you're not allowed to leave the dog out the leash, but you know, no one really respects that. And like, I completely get that. Like, why the fuck would you just force the dog to be on a lead when, you know, the beach is pretty much empty? It's not that big of a deal. Again though, it's against the law. So if anything, what you could do is just see if they need help, you know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna call the police on you because your dog's off the fucking leash. But no, she just kept on like sunbathing or whatever, like tanning and shit like that, just like that, didn't really give a shit, you know? Like, what the fuck? And so after my mom like took care of my nephew, so he's not like crying and he's not like screaming, because, you know, obviously it hurt if it bit him that hard that he started bleeding. No, obviously it must have hurt. So she took care of him. She's like, oh bro, I'm gonna need your phone number to like get like proof of like the shots that they were taking and whatnot. First of all, like, you know, for safety and shit like that, you know, so she feels safer, so she's like, she knows he doesn't have rabies. And second of all, like, obviously the doctor is gonna ask for like actual proof and stuff like that, and the vet or whatever when the hospital calls over and whatnot. I don't really know how it works, but she's like, why would I, you know, like why would she give contact? And I'm like, your dog just bit the fucking kid, like just do what you're told. But no, she tried to give a fake number Thankfully my aunt was there and she like stopped her. She's like, all right, let's call it, see if it's real. And it actually wasn't. Like just imagine, she gave a fake phone number and then they stopped her, didn't let her leave until they called it, and her phone was in her hands and it just wasn't ringing, which is fucking hilarious. Like, so she finally gave the right number. They asked her for a name, but she gave a fake name as well, which really sucks because, like, dude, it's such a disgusting fucking human being. Honestly, like, I don't really even know how to explain it. I just like lose hope in humanity when I realize that there's like those kind of like nasty people around the world. But basically, they called the phone number when she left and shit like that, and she just wasn't answering or anything. And the name was fake because I tried to look her up because, you know, being on the internet, you know, you acquire some skills that like lets you, you know, try to find people where they think they cannot be found. But the name was fake as well. Later on, my mom gave the phone number to my sister, you know, the mom of my nephews, and she reached out to her. She sent like a long text and whatnot saying that like she's just worried for her kid, like no one really gives a shit about the dog like shots her and whatnot, other than the, you know, safety of her child. So, you know, it was like a long paragraph, like all emotional and whatnot, like please just send her that so you know, so we can make sure that they're safe and shit. So this bitch sends the pet card or whatever. I don't really know what's it called, and like if you guys would know what I'm talking about, it's probably different in every country, but you need to have like obviously like, it's not really a license, but it's just like a little book where, you know, you write down like all the shots that your dog's got and when they got them and shit like that. So she sent it, right? And then they took it to the vet's office, like the pictures and whatnot, and those were literally some other dogs logs of like getting their shots and whatnot. Like, are you fucking joking? Like, if your dog is not like, if it didn't get those shots, like the child could literally fucking die, and she's sending like fake ones. So from my opinion, what I got from it is that she just didn't have the card on her. She didn't want to like find it or whatever. So, and you know, she just didn't want my sister to worry. So she's like, yeah, it's right here. You know, you can see that they got their shot. But what happens when they find out that it's fake is like, you start to panic. Like, why would she send a fake one if they actually got their shots? You know, like, it's just such a fucked up situation and just such a disgusting way to deal with or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, imagine not giving a shit of like a little kid fucking bleeding out on a beach. It's just, man, I don't know. I feel like I've been raised pretty well. That I give a, you know, like, I have common sense, I have human courtesy of like, you know, looking out for someone if they're fucking, you know, might be dying on the beach or whatever, you know what I mean? I always try to help out when something fucked up happens, you know, no matter if I know them or not. Like, especially if I know it's my fault, you know, because you're not supposed to have the dog off the leash at the beach, so it was her fault regardless. Long story short, my sister ended up taking the card or whatever to the vet's office or whatever, and it was fake and whatnot. And then the vet's office kind of did like something fucked up, which they shouldn't have done, but they did it anyway because the situation was fucked up and there was no other way to deal with. They gave like full info of the girl and shit like that. So my sister actually drove over to her house and like said like, we really need this, you know, to make sure that like my kid's safe. So she finally gave it to her, and then yeah, now he's good and whatnot. But like, just jeez, imagine like, because she could have gotten arrested and like we could have pressed charges and whatnot, but, and she's just making it so much harder on herself and on everyone else. Like, why don't you just cooperate? Isn't it common courtesy to just make sure like the child's safe, and then you could like make a deal with the person who might sue you, you know, even though it just seems like a concerned mom who just wants to help her child. I don't know, it just like completely unrelated to Minecraft, unrelated to the community, but you know, it just situations like those where you just lose faith in humanity. Like, just imagine, you know, your dog might have just caused someone to like bleed and potentially die if you like might not have gotten the shots. Like, so nasty, man. It just, I don't know. So sorry for like the depressing topic. Obviously my nephew is fine right now. He got like the care he needed and shit. He doesn't have rabies. He didn't get it from the dog or whatever. He's not gonna die. But just like, especially during the Corona time, like, you know, going to the hospital and whatnot, like, you're making us take more unnecessary trips to the hospital where it's already dangerous going there because of the current situation because of Corona and shit, and you're just making it so much worse than us for having to go multiple times because we don't have the right like pet ID or whatever. Like, it just putting everyone at risk so many more times. I really hope, because my sister can still press charges on her and shit like that, and I really hope she does. I'm gonna try to convince her that she does, because that kind of shit, like, it's not even about the money. It's just to like teach them a lesson. Like, don't fucking do that shit, because I swear if there was someone else involved, like they could do like other fucked up shit, you know. They could have like sent over someone to like beat her up or something like that, you know, just like really fucked up shit. But my sister's trying to be nice about it and, you know, just look over her kid. But, you know, like, I really hope she gets sued. Like, I don't know, kind of been deeping this this whole story in my head for the last week, because it's been going on for like 2 to 3 weeks. But yeah, if you guys have pets, please like take the ounce of responsibility that you get with them and shit like that, and do what you're told. Do what you're supposed to do with the pets. Like, don't do stupid shit, please. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys for watching, and peace, guys.